Reason for a Reason. I'm your host, Prevail the MC.
It's your boy Mike J.
And listen, man, we got a new co-host in the building. And she'll introduce herself to y'all real fast.
Hey everybody, my name is Lily Dane.
And she's in the building with us. This is her first time being with the Voice of Reason. We are glad to have her in here as a part of the show. But we got my man Terrence Arlyn in the building. I'm excited to have him in here, man. I've watched this guy grow for years. I'm seeing everything that he did. I'm so proud to have him in here, man, from an author, a comedian, to a music label, to an entertainment label, to whatever it is, he got it. And I'm just interested to find out how you really flipped it the way you flipped it, my brother. I watched you do shows, man. Y'all packed out just regular shows at first. Y'all was having party after party, and then you just did your thing, Terrence, man. I want to thank you for coming on the show today, man.
I appreciate y'all having me. Coming all the way down back to Jersey.
What's next for you, T, man? First of all, let me ask you a question. What inspired you to write that book?
I wanted to create films. I just didn't know how.
Okay.
And I started doing research, and I said a lot of films came from books. So let me write a book. And that was it. I was like, let me just write this book and see if that works. And from writing that book, land me a writing gig for a web series.
Okay.
And then after that, I wrote my first feature film, and that's what it was. It was just I was trying to figure out a way to get into film, and that's what started even the comedy. Comedy was me trying to get into film. It was like, hey, I see a comedians, and a lot of them are in film. Right, I'm funny, so
I didn't even peep that. I thought that you just liked comedy.
Nah.
So it was a reason for
man, there's a method to the madness. Everything I do, you know what I mean? So
You know what else got me? Me and him, we was looking at it when we looked it up to put it on the flyer. I was like, what made him come up with that cover? Your cover of the book was
cover
like,
was dope.
It jumped out at me a little bit. I was like, who did
So-
the graphics to that? Like,
So I bought that. But my biggest thing was when you see black authors, what do you typically see when they covers?
Themselves.
No. You see a lot of dudes standing there, a lot of really colorful reds and diamonds. Our books look ghetto, period. The stereotype is so real. When you see black author books, they look terrible. Their covers look black, and that's what's it's sad. So my thing was, we ain't doing that. This book has to be able to be marketable through not just for the urban, but for everyone. So I said, let's make sure this cover represents the film. The book. And the character, you know what I mean? If you read the story, he's an art major. That's why his face is painted. Okay. You know what I mean? You see the city in his eye because everything happens in Philadelphia. So he's overlooking the city. Okay. And then the anger was, his story. So that face on there, like I said, that's what I wanted to convey to them. And once again, the part 2 to the book is done. I'm just waiting once again to release it because we're gonna shoot this film. And once we do that, then everything will happen with that.
And how did your team form with that? Because looking at it, I seen you did everything. Like, it was crazy. You had your shirts, you had your banners, you had your stands, you had everything. Like,
that was all me back then.
That was you.
That was literally solely me. Like, I was just grooming myself, trying to figure out how to do a lot of it. I didn't have no team. I had nobody. Like, it was just me and, at the time, my ex-girlfriend. That was the only help I had, and we was just grinding.
Sheesh. That's real. And so, when did you decide you wanted to shoot that last shot?
So we was playing around with that. Honestly, it was I was working down at a bar. I was bartending, and I asked the owner. I said, "Yeah, you should let me do a movie in here," because I was starting to dabble with stuff, He was like, "Sure." I said, "We can have it here?" He's like, "Yeah." I went home and wrote a script. Wasn't even great at it. I was just learning, I started writing a script. And once we got done, it was going to be a short film. It's only supposed to be a short film. Right. So once we got done the short, I started talking to different people. I wasn't even supposed to direct it. I had someone else because, once again, I was that young that I didn't even know exactly what to do. So I was going to hire someone else to teach me. I was going to sit behind. But if you got that leadership and you understand what a director is, it was something I was doing my entire life. So I was like, after the first weekend of filming, we sat down and looked at the footage and was like, yo, we got something here.
Right.
And it was like, yo, can we make this to a feature? And that's what it was. But the craziest part about that was the bar owner that said I could have a bar died. They shut down the bar and everything. So everything that I wrote was geared towards that place, and I couldn't even get it.
Wow.
So I had to change so much of the story towards another different bar and everything else. And we just kind of just constructed that story as we went along. And at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is.
Did you do a casting call for that? Carlo Campbell's in that, John.
Yeah.
So how did the casting call
I
go
found
down?
Carlos. I knew Carlos.
Now, I know him too. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I know him from Paul's.
I called-
way back.
Here's the dope part. So the first weekend we filmed, I was playing Carlos.
Oh.
And when we sat down and I said, you know, we can make this to a feature, I was like, the smartest thing I ever did was take myself out of it.
Right.
I took myself out and I asked Carlos, and Carlos said, I'll do it for you. And when he came through, I mean, it was the smartest thing we ever could have did was putting Carlos Camo in that role because he murdered it.
He did murder that.
He did. He killed it.
Yo, I'm like, I want to ask you so many questions.
Spit 'em out.
We was talking on the phone the other day, and we spoke for like, man, it was well over an hour.
Yeah.
And you was putting me up on stuff that made me feel like I was a young boy in the game. I was like, golly.
You know what I tell most people, and it's the honest to God truth, man. I'll pat myself on the back because my first day ever on set, was March 20th, 2016. Not even 3 years ago. So where I am right now is less than 3 years. But yet I have a feature film that I just sold, ITN, which is a dope, look them up, dope company. Right. Dope company. We're slated for, I want to say, 5 feature films this year. I've already contract 3 documentaries, Project Equal 20. I got Chosen Restoration. I got Donnell Jones that we about to, you know what I mean? And quite a few other things. Like, so less than 3 years, I've already established myself in Arlyn Entertainment to being a premier production company. And it was off the grind. Like I said, I just believed in me. I just do my research. I do my due diligence. I talk to people. I'm humble. And like I said, I'm a sponge. So you put me anywhere, I'm quick. And that's one of the biggest things, man. I just, my learning curve. I just learn quick.
Now, let me ask you something. Are you going to give a lot of people from your area a chance to be in some of your films? Are you going for your area first, like, or are you looking outside the box? You know, like some people, like Tyler Perry gives a lot of people from his area a chance. Like, are you going to allow a lot of people from, like, the South Jersey, Philly area to get a chance to be in your films first before you reach out? Of course, you're going to bring in your features, but I mean, are you going to reach back to Jersey, Philly to bring people in, or what? What's going on?
So if you seen Last Shot, you already know I pulled out Deja Gilmore, first-time actress. Sincere McDaniels, first-time actor. They all from Jersey. So Talisha Love, first-time actress out of Jersey. Chris Cream, he's an actor, but he's out of Camden, New Jersey. I grabbed a lot of local people and gave a lot of locals that opportunity. So yeah, that's my whole mission, is to build up where I'm from and give those opportunities. But we got to be mindful. Everybody and their moms, you don't want to act, right?
Right.
This is my life.
Right.
Like, this is my life, so I'm so serious. So when people call me talking about you should let me tell you what I will do for you. I'm going to give you an opportunity to go get on somebody else's stuff. Let me see if you're willing to go out there and put forth the effort. Right. Because anybody can come out there and be on your set and tear your stuff up. Right. If they not going to go out there and grind, if they not serious about actually going out and grinding and getting it, then I can't help you. But if I tell you, listen, they got a casting call for this movie, and they got another casting call for this movie, and they got another casting call for this movie, and you apply to them and you get out there, Kiana Golden is one of the people I can honestly say that she's from Jersey, first-time actress. I told her what to do, and she's done it. I've told a lot of other people what to do, and they haven't done it. And that's why Kiana's going to be in a lot of other stuff with me.
Some of those people that were in those films with you, do they look to you like still for like mentorship? Do they ask you a lot of advice, or they coming to you still, or how's that?
I mean, I would say,
like,
yeah.
If I was in your film and I started to ask you a lot of questions.
Are we family, man?
Would you keep me in the loops with?
Yeah. So everybody I work with, I build with.
Right.
There's no reason why I'm going to have you in my life if I'm not here to better you or you're here to better me. So I build with every one of them. So, yeah, they called me, and Deja, after the film, she got into doing, like, she's a dentist now. Right. So I'll be there Monday with her. She's going to be working on my mouth. because she's a dental assistant and she need people to come in. So I'm still helping. You know what I mean? And she, yeah, she was in there playing in my mouth the first time, and it hurt. But once again, that's a friend. Hey, if I work with you, you help me, I help you. One hand wash the
And that's one
other.
of the mottos I like to say as well. We connect together, we build together.
Absolutely. So that's what we
always
about.
have to
Arlyn
be-
Entertainment is about building.
Yes.
Yeah. So how's your record label coming along?
Record label is going good. 1122 is our partner record label. One of our artists is Jersey B. From Jersey. And I got Maserati Rant, which is an artist out of Chester, PA, and we about to start getting their visual presence out there. About to start shooting a lot of music videos for them and start putting it out there. So
yeah, it's just pretty much in everything.
Of course.
So film.
Hey man, listen, I look at people like Steve Jobs. How many jobs he got? How much is his hands in?
Right.
Dripping.
That's what we were saying last time.
I'm trying to be like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions, man? Y'all sitting around here really quiet.
Listen, I said I'm coming here to drop gems. So if y'all don't ask the right questions, I came here to drop gems. Anything you want to know, I'm giving it to you.
Anybody, come on now. Look, let's open the floor. Anybody got some questions for Arlyn?
I do. Since I'm new to the group, I do not know you. I apologize.
That's fine.
So just let me know what other books, like what can I expect from you?
Out of the books, Circumstances is the first book. Circumstances Part 2 is done. I didn't release it yet because strategically it makes sense to say we're going to shoot this film by 2020. When I've already published it, I'm going to republish it right before we shoot the film. So now we're going to go on a book tour, also leading up to us filming. And then once we film it, the book's going to take off.
Okay.
The film's going to take off. And then I'll drop Part 2. That triangle, it's a lot of money in that triangle. You feel what I'm saying? So everything is just being strategic, even with the writing and then putting out films and putting out books. Everything has to make sense. And a lot of people move and they're just moving, but they're not moving in the right direction. And for us, everything we do, we try to make sure it's strategic and it makes sense. And so that's what we're doing. So yeah, as far as books, that'll be the next book for me. But we also working on our own publishing company because why publish through somebody else when we can do it ourselves? So yeah, we got a publishing company too.
Yeah. Ha! But see, it's crazy. It's funny. Everything that you're doing, I'm kind of doing the same thing, but it seems like I'm lacking in that area because I don't got a lot of team with me, and I feel like you done did it by yourself. Like strategically, you can see here goes the Voice of Reason show. So
right.
There go our sponsorships. Then you turn around. Here's the book I'm trying to put out, and then here's this, and then here's that, and here's this. We strategically moving just like you, but what about for the little men that really don't feel like they got no budget and they really can't make it? Like, what kind of advice do you give to that person that just be like, look, I can't move forward, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm stuck. Like, what do I do? Like,
having a team is so important, man, because being around the right people is going to elevate you. A lot of times we want to move with our friends and family because we feel like, that's my fam and they trying to do the same thing. But sometimes that's the worst person to move with because they're not always out for your best interest. So is there anyone in my family, blood, on my team? No. Why? Because they don't move like I move. They don't think like I think. They're not doing what I'm doing. So you go out and find those people who are dedicated to what it is that they're trying to do, and you attach yourself to them. So what I did was I'll go out and I'll see you on Instagram moving, and I'll contact you and say, listen, man, how can we partner? How can I help you? Help me help you help us. That's good. And that's how I move.
I like that. I like that right there.
Well, help me.
Yeah, help me.
We here. We here. So I got you.
And I was talking to you. Go ahead.
Now, you said you're going to, with your record company, you're going to be doing like another event for your team.
Yeah.
Now, can we host that? Can we get some footage on that with the Voice of Reason?
He got his own company.
I know, but can we tag team? Can we partner with that?
Can we come out?
Now, can your station come out? Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah. He said host.
No. He didn't say
That's
host.
why I let him switch that.
I didn't say host.
Look, I knew the game. Look, I was like, hold up.
I
He got his
meant
own situation.
station.
That's a plug. That's not what he's talking about.
My bad.
That's a plug.
My bad.
What he's saying
My
is,
bad.
can the station come out and pretty much get some coverage of what's going on
Absolutely.
as a station
Absolutely.
to market what y'all doing?
So
right.
and one of the like I tell people, man, I'm here to drop gems. One of the most smartest things I think that we do is we put together things to benefit those who help us. Most people will go out there and say, financially, man, we ain't got no bread. You don't know nobody with money? Ain't nothing but money around us. Walk across the street, Wawa, they ain't got nothing but money in there. You go down the street, Lowe's, they ain't got nothing but money. It's banks everywhere. There's somebody in your circle that's associated with those money. You just got to figure out who those people are. Once you figure out who those people are, the game is about helping. Can I help that person? Can I give them something? Hey, I'm asking for money, but how can I give them something to make sure that money doesn't feel like they just lost out on something? Because nobody want to just write you a check for $10,000 and just be like, all right, well, I hope I get this back, or I hope you do right by it, or you know what I'm saying? So what do? Hey, I need X amount of dollars, but you got tickets for a premiere, you got tickets to this, you're going to get this, you're going to get this apparel, you're going to get this pop-up dinner, I give away so much, because you got to factor in, once again, if you're smart, factor that in your budget. Say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and they're going to give me 10 grand, but I'm going to go give maybe 1,000 of that back. Not just to that one company, to all the companies you understand? So you factor that in. Right. So if you give me 10 grand and then you give me 10 grand and then I got 30 grand, out of that 30 grand, I might take 5 grand, I'm giving that back to them in a bunch of different ways. And that's how they don't feel like they lost out at all. They feel like, damn, like I didn't expect to get all that I just got. Because most people, you give and they get nothing. You know what I mean? And if your business venture isn't successful, then they took a hits just as well as you did. But if you put it together correctly, no one feels like they lost out. Everyone feels like they're gaining, you know? Because when they come to a movie premiere and it's sold out, they get to meet the cast, they get to meet the people. They're like, oh, okay, you get come on set.
That's dope, yeah.
Come on set.
Yeah.
You sponsor this movie, come on set. I want you to be a part of this.
Right.
They love that, you know what I mean? That's what they do everywhere. They set it up so that these people feel so important that they don't mind helping you. So that's all it is, man.
That's good.
Once again, help me, help you, help us.
Right.
That's how we work.
And all that you're saying is like going into marketing. What other marketing tips can you give someone that? Because me being, I'm part of a new startup company as well, and marketing. You're finding out marketing is half the battle.
Yes.
So what kind of tips can you give someone also in the struggle of how do you get out there, that marketing?
So I think I'm gonna be honest for everybody out there, and those people who are great at marketing are what? They're great at one thing. Hustling. Everybody in here probably.
Put that out there.
Listen, we being real.
Right.
You look at the most successful people in the world. They big hustlers. Yeah. They just don't call themselves hustlers. They call them hustling. Mm-hmm. So when everybody in this room has hustled something at some point in time, and if you were successful at it, then all you have to do is take what you were great at then and put it in this, and give the same energy towards that. And if you hustling the right thing, I know one dude that I grew up with, he used to hustle, and then he got a job selling Kirby's. And I'm like, who's selling Kirby's?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
But he was selling Kirby's.
But he was doing it, though.
He was selling Kirby's.
And he was posting the pictures and everything. He was enjoying himself.
So that told me at that point in time that I don't care what it is. If you know how to hustle, you can hustle. You can make money.
He was hustling.
So that's all it is. You just got to have a game plan in order to hustle. If you get together the right game plan, find the right target audience, and sell them what they already want it. That's what it is. So, once again, that's me. I'm always searching for a way that I can help that company, give them something they already want. Right. But at the end of the day, it benefits us greatly because we all winning. We all benefiting at the end of the day, A lot of people just selfish. That's the problem. Everybody want,
I can see you don't got that crab in the barrel mentality. No. It's definitely out here.
Yeah.
You have to get yourself
We
away
talked
from
about that yesterday.
Yeah, you got to separate yourself from that.
Man, I'm selfless when it comes to everything because I know my team, man, I give. I took, man, listen, my company was honestly started last year. And last year, I want to say we did about almost $80,000 my first year. Nice. As a company. But at the end of the year, we was broke. Why? Because we was helping so many people. Right. And it was like, we was helping too many people in the wrong way. And these people wasn't truly there for us, you
Right.
know? So this year we recalibrated everything, and now we're slated to have a bigger year, but we're more conscious of how we're going to go about helping those individuals, you know, and making sure that we're not cutting our necks while helping, you know? How can I give without giving? You know what I mean? Without hurting ourselves. And that's what we just came up with a strategy, another marketing plan. And that's all it is. This game is constantly reinventing itself. And if you ain't trying to get above the curve, if you trying to do what they doing right now, I told people like this next film that, you know, we working on is based in 2033. Why? Because everybody wants to know about the future. That's what they're going. That's where they're thinking. That's where you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
If I made movies based off right now, by the time it comes out, we're late. You're behind. You can't make a movie for 2020 because by the time you're done, it's going to be 2021.
Right.
Let's move above. Same thing with music. You got to move above the curve. I can't keep jumping in the same lane that everyone's doing right now because by the time you're in the right now, they've moved on. Mm-hmm. So we're thinking ahead also. And once again, in marketing, you must think ahead. You know what I mean? So that's
crazy too, because when you got some of that music that's before its time, man, it gets stoned, it gets hated.
Sometimes.
It's persecuted. Yeah, because people ain't caught up with it yet.
Yeah.
You're ahead of yourself.
Sometimes, but
So dope.
Kendrick came out and nobody knew what to do with him. J. Cole came out, nobody knew what to do with him. You know what I mean? If you know J. Cole's story, no one knew what to do with him because he was so ahead of his time. Until he gave away his whole album and it blew up and they was like, oh, there's a market. We didn't know because they didn't know what to do with him. He knew what he had. They knew what they had, but it took for them.
Did he give away his stuff at what?
He put his whole look his story up.
On that Piff or something?
I don't remember.
I never looked up his story. I didn't know he gave away all
his first album. They shelved it, so he was like, if y'all gonna shelf it, I'm just gonna give it away. He gave it away.
Wow.
And it blew up, and then everybody said, oh. Let's give him a shot. He was signed, but he was shelved. He was sitting on the shelf for a year.
Definitely didn't know that.
No, he was signed with Rockefeller because I remember that.
Yeah,
Songs.
but he was shelved
video
for a
with
year. He had a whole
everything.
album done. He was just sitting around at home, like, what are they doing with me? Nothing. Until he gave his album out, and they realized how big his fan base was.
Sometimes you gotta give.
Google.
Oh my God! You trying to be a comedian?
Listen, I tell everybody, man, y'all paying for school, you paying for a lot of information. The world has given it to you for free. You just ain't paying attention. You're just not researching. I go to college every day. It's on YouTube. They teach you how to do everything.
What I tell you? What I tell you?
yesterday.
The other day,
You want to learn
he
something?
said-
Just go to YouTube.
The other day he was trying to, cause he do graphics.
Yeah.
And he wanted to do something, and I said, man, you better go to school YouTube.
School of YouTube.
Right.
They teach you how to do it.
Let's go YouTube all the time.
Right.
That's why all the
Listen.
kids are super smart now.
Yeah.
They just sit and watch YouTube all the
Better
time.
pay
Right.
attention. I was like, I don't know how to mix. I don't know how to do this master. I went on YouTube, watched one of them little white boys, showed me how to mix. You know what it saw to me? I didn't know how to use the green screen. I went on there, a 12-year-old kid was on
Show
there.
you how to do it.
I was like, I felt stupid. But it's real. So,
That's what it is.
But man, drop some jewels on us, man. Oh, you can't tell us the name of your new film?
Which one?
Don't you got?
Oh, yeah, I got a big one coming out, Elementary.
Yeah.
And once again,
Did you do your casting call for it?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
we cast it once because we was going to shoot. We had a company telling us they was going to give us $2 million if we showed them something. I had like 6 days to produce it.
All right.
So we went out and we cast it. And I said, let me tell you something. The one thing I'm not going to do is fail myself by rushing to meet someone else's demand. So I called that dude back and I said, we gonna hold off on that, and we're gonna go and do it. We're gonna do it correctly because we too young of a company to fumble because we trying to meet someone else's something that we knew realistically could we do it in that time frame? Yeah. Is it gonna be right? We don't know. Is it gonna be what we want? We didn't know.
We don't know.
And the unknown, we wasn't gonna dive. So I looked at it like I wouldn't dive in that water if I can't see the bottom.
Right.
So I didn't dive. So we passed up on that, and we got this huge film, Elementary, and it's about 2 young boys who get abducted in the same town. One gets abducted inside of an elementary school. Both sets of parents come together, and they like, we're gonna find our kids. So they go to the elementary school with no help from the teachers or principals. They say, you know what, we got one option. So they take over this elementary school, holding everyone inside hostage, pretty much demanding the public. And they tell them just like this: if you're not gonna help us find our children, we're gonna hold on to yours. And that's what the movie about. So it's a deep, passionate movie.
That's crazy.
It ends well. It's so many twists and turns. You wouldn't believe who was involved in this stuff. Like, it's crazy. But it's real because is this happening? Every day.
Most definitely.
Yeah, every day. And you casted for it already?
Now we about to cast again. So we casted the first time. We got some dope individuals that came out. And then we're about to cast again for it, and then we're gonna start releasing some of the people that's already signed. I got you.
The voice of reason, man.
I got
Help
you.
us. Help us.
Most definitely.
But that's all it is, man.
That's dope. And so I like your whole business mind with the first book, how you gonna come back out with that film and everything. It seems like you just so on track with what you're doing. You got it all locked down. Give us some more jewels, man.
Ask the question.
Anybody?
What questions y'all got?
What was a pivotal turn point, in your career? Was it something that happened, or something that you realized, or something that you did wrong that you learned a lesson from? That you were like, all right, this is how I'm gonna do it. Does that make sense? Or did you start with a plan and just work the plan and it just worked the whole time?
So, hopefully I answer this correctly. It was never really a pivotal point, because my pivotal point was growing up, and I looked at my life and I said, I can do better. I'm too intelligent to be out here working for people and failing. And I had some dope jobs in management, Pepsi, and I managed a construction company. I had dope jobs where I make good money, but I was never happy because I wasn't doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? So it was never really a pivotal point where I was like, it's time to this. But it was just, I had a plan, and this plan changes often. Okay. You know what I mean? Because once again, as time evolves, you must evolve. So our plan is constantly evolving, but our core plan is in place, and that's what it is. You gotta know what you want in order to know where you're going. I know what I want. We want to be bigger than Tyler Perry. We want to own our own studios. Right. We want to own our own publishing stuff. I'm about to sign a distribution with a distribution company.
And did you start out with those goals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we want to sell. Just why? Just so when you ask me that question, you ever sell a movie? Yeah. After that, I'm distributing everything myself. Why do I want to give away money? Before I see anything, and I got a great contract. We got a better split than most. We getting 75%. But before we see anything, they got to recoup $25,000. That's typically how they do it. So after they get 25, what? Did they put up any money? No. But they get to recoup something that they honestly ain't even putting out. But after that, we get, so for us, we said, can we cut that cost? Of course. Of course. So we figured out how to distribute ourselves 100%, and that's what we're going to be doing from here on out. Why give somebody else your money when you can do it yourself? People think you got to conquer the world. Rappers, how many rappers you know? Mike Jones and all them, was they conquering the world back in the day? No, they conquered their city and that surrounding areas. They became rich off of Texas and that surrounding area. Once it branched out, it branched out. You hear about them now? They still making money because they still own that area. We just got to conquer our areas. You know what I mean? Your content has to be relevant in your areas, and it's going to branch out. But as long as you know every time you drop something in this area that you're going to make what you need to make back, that's it. It'll grow. Tyler Perry conquered Atlanta.
Right. He sure did.
You know of him because of how it spread.
Right.
But his target audience was Atlanta.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? You got to know your target audience first. A lot of people want to start out and they just want to conquer the world. That's the most foolish thing in the world. Because you ain't got a home base conquered yet, but yet you want to conquer the world. And that's what people try to do, and that's why they fail.
So basically, master your niche of that area.
And you also mentioned you had the good jobs, Pepsi and everything like that. So what advice can you give someone that's also, they may feel like money-wise, I have a good job, but I'm just not happy. This is not what I want to do. Did you just jump and just say, you know what, I'm done. Let me start this, or how did that happen?
So those who know me know I'm a free-spirited person. So I quit a job in a heartbeat. And that's what I did. And trust me, in my relationships, you know, to date me, you got to understand who I am. You know, and that's what I'm very honest about who I am. So when people come into situations, the understanding of who this person is, men, women, y'all want to put up this, I'm this person. And this is me. But it's really not. Mm-hmm. Me, I was always open and said, listen, I'm not the dude. I'm going to tell you right now, I typically work about 6 months a year. And that's for tax reasons, because I take that tax money and I flip it into something I'm doing. But outside of that, I'm only there for that reason.
Right, exactly.
I'm not here to better that company. I'm not here to big up their thing. Yeah. I'm here for me. So I worked 6 months a year just so that I knew I had enough. I banked, you save, put up what you got to do. I worked little odd jobs. Everybody know I get out here, I officiate. My officiating allowed me to travel the country now. I'm about to leave to South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. They send me to places to officiate football, pay me about $600 to $700. They fly me out
Nice.
and a hotel. What am I doing? I'm coming out here to officiate football.
That's dope.
Yeah.
My little hustles that I love to, I only do what I love to do. That's it. I figured out that everything I love to do, I can make money doing. So that's what I do. Can I make money doing comedy?
Yes.
I love it. I love officiating. I make money doing that. I love making movies. I'm a producer. So I just figure out ways to produce myself in ways that I can make money doing and utilizing me. You know what I mean? Without going through there and working for someone else and building their company up. Because like I said, I tell people all day, I work for this construction company. And I looked at their books the first year I sat down with them. And I want to say they made $800,000. And then after 2 years with me, they were at almost $4 million.
Wow.
Wow.
I just made them, you know how much they gave me for my bonus? They gave me $5,000. They gave me $5,000. I made you millions, and you gave me.
Yes.
It's a slap.
Like, you know,
Oh, everybody was like, "Yo, they gave you $5,000, y'all.
Like,
What you
but
hype
you
about $5,000
Do you know
for?"
how much I made them?
Right.
I made them millions, but yet they gave me $5,000. Y'all happy? You know how fast I spent that? They gave it to me in December. No exaggeration. By like January 10th, it was gone. It's not no money. You know what I mean? But
Right,
people,
right.
the average folk look at that like that's crazy cash. It's not no cash. You know what I mean? So that's just where I'm at. Like I said, everybody just got to know your niche. You know what I mean? Got to know your niche in this world. You know, you go out here and you working for folks, and they paying you. You know, some people making like 200. You know, 6 figures. What is that owner making if he paying you that?
Right.
If he feels that's what you're worth.
Right.
How much
And you cool
make?
with the fact that you got a nice house and a nice car and you making 6 figures, but that owner, he living on an island. He's sitting. He don't never show up there. You the one out there crying your eyes out. You know what I mean?
Right.
For your 6 figures while he's sitting on the island just
Yep,
chilling.
You're the one missing holidays and birthdays.
I'm trying to be the guy on the island.
Right. That's the end goal.
Trying to own
That's the
the
own goal.
That's it.
Right.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
So we're about to go to a commercial break real fast. We'll be back in 1 second, man. The voice.